Hello, it's Michael Watts here, and in this video I'm going to be addressing a question that I get asked a lot, which is how I record the acoustic guitar. I've chosen to answer this question using this revolutionary format of me on the couch talking to you about guitars. I could have done this in the studio, but I'm very keen to show that you can get great results wherever you are, and let's face it, a lot of playing happens right here at home on the couch. A couple of things to point out before I show you through the kit involved. I'm very old school when it comes to recording of any sort, and I believe in quality of sound at source. So I make sure that my guitar is prepared before I begin any sort of recording session, even if it's just demos. So new strings, stretched, and the instrument in tune and ready to go. And in many ways I try and prepare my own self for the task to come as well. So I try and get a good night's sleep. I avoid caffeine. Sometimes I'll have banana for breakfast. They have natural beta blockers in them, which can help as well. But essentially this is a subject for another video entirely. Right now I've done all my preparation and I'm ready to show you through the kit. First thing that we need to attend to is this matched pair of Gefell M300 small capsule condensers. I've been using this model of microphone almost exclusively to record acoustic instruments for 10 years now, since 2008. I have used other things in the past. I've owned and used Neumann microphones, and I've been very lucky to try some really exotic kit, vintage Neumanns and Schoeps mics together at Abbey Road Studios, DPAs, Telefunkens, all sorts of really esoteric, beautiful things. A wise old sound engineer once told me that the best mic for the job is the one that you're holding in your hand. And I agree with that, so I make sure that the mic I'm holding in my hand at pretty much all times is at least one M300. They have a beautiful response across the whole sonic spectrum of the guitars that I play. They're great for detail and really do pick up the nuances of the sort of sound that I make. It's really that simple. So at the moment the mics are obviously pointing up at me to record my voice, but this is how I set them up in order to record guitar. These mics then go directly into an Apogee Duet 2. You can see that my Duet bears the scars of I guess nearly 10 years of use as well. It has been all over the world with me. It's recorded in 5-star hotels with interviews with luthiers like Michael Greenfield. It has recorded in tiny luthiers' workshops. It was also stolen from me at the Royal Albert Hall by an Italian sound engineer, and I found it on eBay a week later and managed to get it back. So this thing is also a very important part of my recorded sound. There's only two inputs and there's only two microphones involved, so I guess once again that keeps things simple, but the quality of sound is very high indeed. I've done A/B tests against some really exceptional pre's, things like the Orpheus, Buzz, Manley, Great River, Gordon, all this sort of stuff, and I keep coming back to the Duet simply because I've used it so often and I trust it implicitly. And you know, that's the same story with the Gefell mics as well. The Duet runs straight into Logic Pro X here on a MacBook Pro, and it's literally that simple. The two mics are recorded as separate channels. I've always done it that way. I know that that's a terrible reason for doing anything, and I'll no doubt get all sorts of comments from people who have read those fancy self-help books on management that you get in airports, disrupting your MBA or something like that. Yes, having always done it that way is a terrible reason to continue to do it, but in this case it works, so I'm very happy to carry on like that. And essentially it's just a question of splitting the signal left and right and playing. It really is that simple. Now I'm going to take a more in-depth look at mic placement. I've got two guitars with me. The first is my Costal MDW signature model in quilted maple, quilted bird's eye maple in fact, and German spruce. It's a 12 fret guitar, and that means that my mic placement will be slightly different. I like to adjust for all sorts of different sonic possibilities. Let's have a look at that now. The MDW is a very responsive instrument. It's got a big sweet spot here, and so we've got one mic at the body joint and another one pointing it just behind the bridge. It's quite close mic'd as well. I really enjoy picking up all the nuances and subtleties that are part of this guitar. And the second instrument that I've got with me is my first Costal guitar, number 32 in the tree and German spruce once again, and this is a very different instrument, and as such I like to change my mic placement just a little bit to suit. Number 32 of course is a full-size modified dreadnought, and as such I have to choose what aspects of this huge sound I want to hone in on. That normally means once again mic at the body joint, which in this case is the 14th fret, and another mic pointing at or just behind the bridge there. You may also notice that the mics are a good 2 inches further back than they were as well, to deal with the sheer juggernaut power of this guitar. So really that is my approach to recording the guitar in its essence. Do not skimp on quality and do not skimp on simplicity if you possibly can. Remember that degradation is cumulative, and if you put a weak link in the chain it has a knock-on effect all the way through. So essentially my chain is me, pretty much the weakest link in the whole thing, but we can't help that. Great guitar, thank you Jason Costal. Lovely mics. Thank you, the guys at Microtech Gefell for making the wonderful M300. Apogee Duet, MacBook Pro running Logic. That's literally it, and the reason I've kept it this simple is so that when the time comes for me to pick up a guitar, I can forget all this. It's gone. And I can concentrate on the task in hand, on making music. It's what I'm here to do, it's what we're all here to do, and I'm going to do it right now.